Good afternoon to you. I'm Howard Feldman. This is the Synthesis Sunday podcast happening today on Tuesday. We promised you that we would bring you information when any news broke around COVID-19, and we are keeping our promise. We are also not leaving the beach today whilst we talk about this, because today is actually the last day on the beach in the garden route. We're both in flesh, Dr. Anton Meyberg and myself. And we listened with horror to the announcement by the president last evening, where he announced that all beaches would be closed along the Eastern Cape as well as the Garden Route. It's a complete, in my view, absurdity. If you look around, and I will try and get you some shots, you will see that people are spread out. Kids are having fun. This is exactly what the country needed after the year that we've had, and it's closing these beaches will, if anything, will not assist the spread of COVID, but in fact might make it worse, in the sense that people will now be forced to go to restaurants, malls, and other places indoors. But I am no medical expert. I'm just a bloke trying to have a holiday with his family after what's been an incredibly difficult year. Joining me, as he always does, is Dr. Anton Meyberg. He's sitting not too far from me, but far enough to keep ourselves safe. Dr. Meyberg, good afternoon. How are you?
Well, good afternoon, Howard. And we're sitting here having our little own family meeting. We're a family in discord, a family in disharmony because of some idiotic decisions that were made last night by our commander-in-chief. We'll get onto that just now. We're currently sitting on over 73 million cases worldwide, with 1.6 million deaths worldwide, over 866,000 cases in South Africa, with over 23,000 deaths, and around 5,500 new cases in the last 24 hours. The trend has been over 8,000 for the last few days. We are in a bit of a quandary at the moment with the number of cases that we are seeing, but by no means was there any need to close certain beaches along the wilderness and along the garden route. These are the safest places where people can be outside in the open, where people aren't spreading the virus, where people are socially distancing, where people are actually taking control of the environment and of the virus. So I'm greatly perplexed, greatly disappointed, and I think it's time to stand up and say we will not follow these rules.
So it's very interesting, though, what you're saying, because in fact, you've been incredibly supportive of government and government's decision the whole way through. There obviously were times that you felt the decisions weren't particularly rational. This one has completely, and in fact, I want to quote you last night when I asked you your thoughts. Your response was one word, and you said gobsmacked. Take us through that. Why is this such an irrational decision?
Well, it's irrational on many levels. I mean, what are you going to do? So you're taking people off the beaches, okay? Now the beaches are open spaces, as we said earlier on. There's a lot of wide open space where people can socially distance from each other. It's very difficult to spread the virus. Most of the people we've seen on the beaches are wearing masks when they go and talk to each other. People are going and swimming in the sea. No one is swimming in groups. Everyone is being very careful. So what's the alternative? You take people off the beaches. People are now going to have to cohort together in shopping centers, at restaurants, together in spaces that are closed off, where people actually can't control the spread of the virus. So yes, I'm absolutely gobsmacked at this decision. It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, why take an open area that's so diverse and close it off to people where people can actually look after themselves and actually stop the spread of the virus? Whereas in contrast to going indoors, people are actually going to spread the virus more.
There's, of course, the other element to it, and that is the fact that South Africans have, and people around the world, are absolutely desperate after the year they've had to have a little bit of a break. What seems to be happening now, and what my concern is now, is that if they're unable to do that, if they're unable to get outdoors and just have time with family and with each other, the impact on mental health over the next year is surely something that even medically we need to be concerned about.
So you're right, but I think even before we get to the mental health, if you look at the amount of money that's generated in the leisure facility, in the leisure context here, where people in the Plettenberg Bay area, we're speaking about Plettenberg Bay because we're here at the moment, the number of losses that retailers are going to make with regards to coffee shops, with regards to rentals, with regards to supermarkets, with regards to food items down to the areas here. That in itself is overly dramatic. Now you take it one step further and you look at the mental anguish people are going through. People have prepared themselves. This is the one thing they've been looking forward to. Coming down to the beach, coming down to the coast, having a holiday, setting themselves free and being able actually to just let their hair down without having to worry about the fact that they're in the hotspot. And yes, this is a hotspot. We know this is a hotspot. But from what we've seen around the last 2 days, people are being very careful. People are taking care of themselves and they're looking after other people. So once again, I'm going to say absolutely gobsmacked.
Do you think there's something nefarious in the decision around this? Why would, for example, would Cape Town beaches remain open aside from certain days where there is high intensity in terms of attendance on the beach? KwaZulu-Natal the same thing, but yet here in the on the Garden Route and in the Eastern Cape, things have the beaches are closed completely. What are your thoughts?
So, I mean, maybe one can assume that maybe because the president lives in Cape Town, he's kept the beaches open in Cape Town for his own needs. Who knows? Who can tell? I mean, there's definitely something nefarious. So it definitely doesn't make any sense. I mean, the hotspot was KwaZulu-Natal where rage happened, where the spread happened. Yet the beaches are open there except on the public holidays. Cape Town, the beaches aren't closed. They aren't closed on public holidays. Then where is the wisdom in any of this? How does it make any sense? Is this maybe a syntax? Who knows? Are we being punished for being going on a holiday? Who knows? But none of this makes any sense. And it just doesn't make any medical sense. It doesn't make any psychological sense. And it just doesn't make sense overall.
Clearly, there is something fishy with the closure of the beaches. I've been chatting to Dr. Anton Meyberg, pulmonologist specialist. We have done more than 40 podcasts. Most of them have been very supportive of government's decision, of the lockdown that have been very difficult and very painful. But this is completely and absolutely irrational. I chatted last night to John Steenhuisen. He was absolutely dumbfounded as well, could not believe that this was the decision of the government. And one does wonder where this medical expertise is coming from in terms of the advice that is being given. Dr. Meyberg, your advice to people?
Look, I mean, right now we're sitting on this beautiful beach. You can see in the background. It's a beautiful, glorious day. People are living, people are happy, people are enjoying what hopefully is not going to be the last day. But for now, it is the last day. Obviously, we are law-abiding citizens and we have to follow the law. But hopefully people will stand up for us and people will stand up for themselves and say enough is enough and we can challenge this because this makes no sense. So let's fight this. Let's do what we can do. We need to support local travel. We need to support local institutions. We need to support people around here. Everyone's worried about the economy falling. This will bring a complete destruction of the economy from the retail side, from the luxury side, from the leisure side, from everybody in this area. So do your best to still try and come down on holiday. There are other things to do, and hopefully this will be overturned in the next few days.
Indeed. Let's hope that is the case. I'm Howard Feldman for an Emergency Synthesis Sunday podcast, except that it's Tuesday, and not such good news, unfortunately. Is there any good news to end with? Because I don't think that Liverpool is going to add to our sense of good spirits either.
Well, with the closure of the beaches, I suppose there's more time to watch soccer at night time. I mean, there are a few midweek games this week. So, big game tomorrow night, Liverpool vs Tottenham. Go you Reds, you can do it. We're going to take the top of the league. That's about the only good news at the moment. So, good luck. And we're hoping to have to do no more broadcasts. Maybe we can do a celebratory victory dance around the beach in the water to show that we've won the battle.
I'm Howard Feldman for the Sunday Synthesis podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and we'll keep you informed. Be safe, have a great day, and try and have a damn good holiday.